Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining in. Those who are joining us online and here in person. And welcome to yet another new series. Starting from today on the occasion of upcoming festival, which is Gaur Purnima. So some of you might not be familiar with this festival, but I want to take this opportunity to introduce you all to this particular festival and the significance of this, what we're going to discuss. So Gaur Purnima is the festival, is the appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually none other than the Krishna himself. But he is not as widely popular as everybody knows about Lord Krishna or Lord Rama or any other form of those different incarnations. So through the series of sessions, we'll understand that who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his tattva, like how we claim that he is Krishna himself. It is we bunch of people who believe, or what is the Shastric reference to this, and what are his teachings and contributions. So that is what we'll be covering here. Okay, so let's get started the prayers. So I request everyone, please fold your hands and join me in chanting the prayers, and then we'll begin. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Bracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhasha Dadeshadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this discussion is going to be slightly different than what we have been discussing. What we have been discussing is all verses from Bhagavad Gita. So when we talk about this term God, especially nowadays in the modern age, we should be extra careful, because sometimes when we talk about this concept of God, there's a lot of different ideas or images comes about. Some people think God is, someone like very strict and forgiving judge. Somebody thinks the God is someone who's sitting up in the sky in a big throne and waiting for someone to do some little mistake and then he punishes. Some of them, they think God is like some crutch for the weak people. Some of them, they treat God as the cosmic supplier. If you need something, go to God and God will give. So like that, we have various different ideas of God. But now interestingly, this Vedic canon paints a slightly different picture of a God. Not only just someone who is very powerful and order supplier, but they paint the picture of a God bursting with some colors, characters, and some bliss. So God has been explained in the scriptures as Raso Vaisaha, one who's the source of all the rasas. Rasas means the emotions, feeling, exchange of. So God is a personality actually. It's not some unknown reality sitting somewhere up in the sky and some imagined character like that some people paint the picture. That is not the understanding of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. They talk about God is a person. So God is not a person like you and me, but God is a transcendental supreme personality. It's filled with all the characters and all the bliss and the exchanges of emotions. Right? There is this famous philosopher, German philosopher, who said that I would only believe in God who dances, who knows how to dance. It's a famous quote. says that I believe only in God who knows how to dance. God should not be someone sitting up in the sky, like a passing over. He should be able to dance. So basically, the German philosopher may not be familiar with this God whom we call Krishna, but actually he is looking for Krishna. Because what we know about Krishna from the scriptures is the God who always dances. So there is a description of the spiritual world we call Vaikuntha. So Vaikuntha is explained as Vigat Kunta iti Vaikuntha. Kunta means the miseries, the problems. So spiritual world is the place where there's no problems. It's free from all the problems that we experience in this material world. So that is the Vaikuntha. And it is explained there that Vaikuntha is the place where every step is a dance, every word is a song, and that spiritual world is infused with all the selfless love. So that is what is the Vaikuntha planet, which has been explained here, right? And in that Vaikuntha planet, the topmost planet is the Goloka Vrindavan, where this personality whom we call Krishna, who is enchanting all the living entities by playing his flute and dancing with all the devotees. So these are the descriptions of the scriptures, but unknown to the common mass of people, because people don't read the scriptures so deeply, right? And you see throughout the history that Krishna periodically he comes, and Krishna explains also claims in the Bhagavad Gita, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata. So whenever there is a decline in the religious principles and rise of a religion, he comes, he establishes the principle of religion, and then he teaches that how to develop the God consciousness, and he goes back. And he comes again and again, yada yada hi dharmasya, in different forms. So one such form in year 1486, the same Supreme Lord, Krishna, he came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when the entire society was still going through and reawakening, the philosophical and the theological thoughts was going on, that is when he comes, and he ushered in a very unique process of developing the God consciousness by inaugurating the chanting of the holy names. And that became widely popular as the Sankirtan movement. So it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who came and who inaugurated and introduced for the common mass. And without any pre-qualification, he welcomed everyone to come and join and participate, irrespective of whether somebody is qualified or not, and participate in the process of chanting and dancing, and through that process developing the God consciousness. So that is what the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. So he is the father of this Sankirtan movement. We'll know more about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he inaugurated, introduced this process of Sankirtan through his personal interaction and then philosophical discourses, and most importantly, the joyously chanting the holy name, which any person from any background, irrespective of any caste, color, creed, gender, age, anybody can participate. So he has introduced and given to the society a process which is welcoming everyone. So that has been a very, very unique contribution of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. So you can show the second slide. Yeah. So this is just an intro about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. So now many of the people in general, they are not much familiar about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because it is a postgraduate study. And we'll talk about that comparative study. What is this postgraduate study? So we are talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Sankirtan movement, how to develop love for God. That is the purpose of any spiritual practice. Either you're meditating or you're chanting, you're going to temple, you're worshiping at home, whatever you're doing, the end goal is how to develop love for God. Right. Now, scriptures explains that various religions, they stem out of the same source. Source is one, but their practices and their culture they adopt may vary. Right. So basically, the ultimate goal is same, but the practices and the processes may vary from religion to religion in different time, in different circumstances. Right. So we can say that old wine in new bottle. So the Sankirtan movement is nothing new. that has been the goal of all the scriptures right from the beginning of creation, but it is presented in a more acceptable way, right? But at the same time, we should understand when we say that all the religions, their goal is same, but still there is a difference. What is the difference? Difference is that each tradition, they emphasize on different aspects of the absolute truth. Goal is same, but different religion, they emphasize on the different aspects of the absolute truth, and which has been explained. That absolute truth, the Supreme Lord, is actually can be realized in different levels, right? So the details vary, that at what level you want to realize God. The highest level of realizing the absolute truth is to understand that God is a person and is a very loving person who can reciprocate with you, he can talk with you, he can dance with you, right? And that is the end goal, which is, we say that developing love for God. Okay, so we'll just quickly see that slide, next slide, wherein it has been explained that Bhagavad Gita. So basically, this Vedic canon is a very vast subject, but Srila Prabhupada Acharya, he focuses on majorly 3 books to study if you want to know in and out of all this knowledge. So Bhagavad Gita, we all are familiar, and then Srimad Bhagavatam, which also most of us we know, and then the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which for many of you might be something new. So what is the understanding here? We can see Bhagavad Gita is foundational study. Krishna talks about the basic philosophy there. And then Srila Prabhupada explains that Srimad Bhagavatam is graduate study. And then Charitamrita is postgraduate study. So you see how gradually you develop your understanding. So in Bhagavad Gita, it is words of Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, it is activities of Krishna has been explained. Different Lila, different pastimes, different incarnation of Krishna. And what is Chaitanya Charitamrita? So Chaitanya Charitamrita is explained as the mind of Krishna. You understand the words of Krishna, you understand the pastimes of Krishna, activities of Krishna. But what is in Krishna's mind? That is even more confidential. That is why it is put into under the category of postgraduate study. So that is what is the Chaitanya Charitamrita, advanced study. So see how the Bhagavad Gita begins. The beginning of Bhagavad Gita is the 2nd chapter, Atma Gyan. Krishna talks about that you are not the body, you are the soul. That is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, and then where does the Bhagavad Gita ends? Where it ends? Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. We discussed all that. So it begins from that you are not the body, you are the soul, and then ultimately you understand, and then you surrender yourself to Krishna fully. So that is where the Bhagavad Gita ends, and that is when the Bhagavatam begins. What Bhagavatam begins is, says, Dharma projito keta vatro parmo nirmasaranam zadam. So Bhagavatam, in the very 2nd verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva explains that from this literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, all the Ketav Dharma means all the cheating religion. Cheating religion means how it can be cheating religion. Cheating religion is considered as the religion which does not teach you, educate you how to develop love for God. They might be teaching you so many things, control senses, control mind, be nice, be good, help others, which is great. But that is all considered as per the standard of Bhagavatam. It is considered as the cheating religion because it is not teaching you, educating you how to develop love for God. So Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Bhagavatam is beginning that all kinds of cheating religion are already kicked out because Krishna said, give up. So Bhagavatam is saying, already gave up. Start from there. So Bhagavatam begins from the Ketav Dharma. Okay, and where does the Bhagavatam ends? If you read all the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, so the essence is one line. And we are very, very fortunate that you can get the essence of all the 18,000 verses without going through all those 18,000 complex Sanskrit verses. You can get the essence. So essence is this. Nam Sankirtana Yasha Sarva Pap Pranashanam Pranamo Dukashamnena Tam Namami Haripriyam. That is the very last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, which explains, which starts from Bhagavatam, starts from all the cheating religions kicked out and ends at Nam Sankirtan. That okay. What is the essence? What you should do after reading 18,000 verses? Should chant the holy name of the Lord. Nam Sankirtanesh. That is where the Bhagavatam ends. And where the Bhagavatam ends, that is where the Chaitanya Charitamrita begins. So you see the connection, how it is a gradual progression of the understanding, spiritual understanding. So Bhagavatam ends at Nam Sankirtan and Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is basically the life and the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recorded in that book. So it begins with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that I'll come personally, I'm Krishna himself, I'll come and I will inaugurate this Sankirtan movement. I'll inaugurate and I'll teach the people how to chant the holy name of the Lord. That is where it begins. And where does it end? It ends where? Where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually in a completely transcendental madness of a spiritual ecstasy. Like he's experiencing the bliss, the ecstasy by chanting the holy name. It's a very, very advanced stage where he is completely unaware, unconcerned about his externals. So much joy, so much ecstasy is experiencing within himself. So that is how this is the progression. So this Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the life and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is a very, very advanced study. But we are very, very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of this worldwide Hare Krishna movement, he has very nicely explained and elaborated this subject matter in a language which is easy to grasp for a sane person like us. We not to become super qualified, understand everything of Bhagavatam, know the Sanskrit, but still you can understand and appreciate and apply and implement in our life and be benefited from the highest subject. Okay, so we'll be talking a little bit about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a very detailed subject. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita has actually been, it's a literature which is divided into 3 sections. Like we see the Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is like 12 cantos. Similarly, the Chaitanya Charitamrita is divided into 3 sections called Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, and the Anti Lila. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes and the beginning stage, and then the middle stage and the last stage. And it is spreaded over around like 62 chapters put together. And it contains 11,500 and around like 19 verses. And these verses are all in Bengali language because it had been compiled by one of the great saint who was from Bengal, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So that many verses. And it's not only just Bengali verses, but it contains some Sanskrit verses also, which has been quoted from different scriptures just to reference and establish the identity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Somebody might say, oh, maybe that, he was thinking that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is God. How you prove that he is God? So he's quoted 800 such Sanskrit verses from around like 50 different scriptures, Vedic scriptures, to establish his identity as the Supreme Lord. So we'll be seeing all of that. Okay, just a quick breakdown of his life. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, he was there here on this planet only just for 48 years, right? So initial years of his life, from his birth to 24 years, it was his household life, and which is basically the subject matter of the Adi Lila, initial 24 years. And then at the age of 24, when he was still very young, he took the sannyas. And from 24 to 48, in the sannyas life. So in that also interestingly, as soon as he took the sannyas in age of 24, for 6 years, he extensively traveled around the world. Around the world means around the planet, especially like South India and all that. So 6 years, he was traveling and preaching, sharing the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So 6 years he spent in traveling, and then later 18 years, he made his headquarters in Jagannath Puri. But in that also interestingly, initial 6 years, 32, 36, he was going and meeting with devotees and doing a lot of activities. Every day, a lot of devotees will gather, they will do kirtan discussions and all of that. So association with devotees for initial 6 years in Jagannath Puri. But later years, you will see around like 12 years, he was completely in the transcendental madness. He was in a very, very advanced stage. He will not allow anyone to meet. Only very few very close associates could come and meet him and discuss with him something. So he was in a different ecstasy. So that is just a quick overview about his life. Okay, so why we're talking about all of those things? Or Acharya Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who is the author of this Chaitanya Charitamrita, he quotes this nice verse. He says, Siddhant baliya chitte nakara alas, iyaha ite Krishna lage sudrada manas. So he says that Siddhant baliya chitte nakara alas. One should not be lazy, na alas. Don't do the alas. Don't be lazy about Siddhanta. To understand the Siddhant. Siddhant means philosophically understanding who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not just sentimentally, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very nice, he was simply singing and dancing. Not like that. We need to understand the Siddhanta also. Because if you don't understand the Siddhanta, then you can take him as a mere mortal. And that is how we see, that many people, especially this, historic people, they have painted the picture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as some great saint who appeared in the East Bengal and West Bengal, that side, in 16th century. So most of the people, those who know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they consider Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as some saintly person. But that is not what the Siddhanta is saying. What Siddhanta says is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually the supreme personality of Godhead himself, Krishna. And that we'll understand. So that is the Siddhanta. Okay. So now, why, like when we go to any, the Vedic circles where people know about the scriptures, they talk about Gita, Bhagavatam and all that. So you will see practically everyone know about Krishna, Lord Rama, Narsimha, and various such incarnation, Vishnu, Narayan and all that. But rarely people know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now question can be raised, if he is Krishna himself, he is the Supreme Lord, then why people don't recognize him as the Supreme Lord? What is the problem? So it has been explained in the Bhagavatam also that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually considered as the hidden incarnation, technically called Channa Avatar. Channa Avatar means he's covered. It's a covered incarnation. He's the Supreme Lord, but he consciously seized his identity as the Supreme Lord. He never exposed himself. And there were incidents has been recorded wherein some close associates, they recognize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu based on some activities that he is not ordinary person. And they call out that looks like you're the Supreme Lord. And he'll close his ears. He didn't want to hear that word that I'm the God, because his purpose was different. And what was the purpose, that we'll understand going forward. But consciously he chose to be like a hidden incarnation. Right. So that is why most of the people, they don't know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. Okay, go next. So now question is, how do we understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is what we are talking, he is the Supreme Lord, he is the hidden incarnation? How we can establish that he is the Supreme Lord? He might be some great saintly person. How do you understand? So we can understand with this. He is the safe God. What is safe God means? There are 4 criteria by which we can understand who is God from the scriptures. So as stand for that we should talk about the authenticity from the scriptures. When somebody claims I am God or an incarnation of God, then scripture should talk about that. There should be mention of that personality in the scriptures. So that is the most bona fide source of someone to recognize as the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, see in this modern age, especially with the effect of this Kali Yuga, every other person keeps claiming that I am God. I'm incarnation of God. And you'll see that a lot of incarnations roaming in the streets nowadays. Right? But that is not the way that we accept someone as God. It should be confirmed from the scriptures. That is A. Second is, that is S. And then second is astrology and attributes. Also, scriptures talks about when the great personalities comes, the Supreme Lord especially. Like you can see the description in the Bhagavatam. When Lord Krishna comes, what kind of constellations are there? So they're very rarely found. Only when the God appears in descends, that time those kind of constellation is being formed. So we find the description from the scriptures and also the attributes. So attributes means there are certain bodily symptoms as being described in the scriptures. One who is the Supreme Lord, or we call Bhagwan or God, they have certain bodily features, which has been explained in the scriptures. And by seeing that, you can understand. There's some marks in their hands, in the palms, the sole of their feet, and the color, and like that, and their bodily limbs, which has been described. So by seeing their attributes also, one can determine that this person is not ordinary person, but they are the Supreme Lord. So that is A. And then F is for follow the authorities. Not only just you read and you understand and you speculate something, but the scriptures which has been confirmed by the great spiritual authorities. So if we go back and you see that spiritual authorities are accepting him as the Supreme Lord based on the scriptural descriptions. So that is also another criteria to accept someone as God. Okay. And the last one is the E, which is extraordinary activities. There are certain activities that nobody can imitate, like Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. Now people want to imitate Krishna. Sometimes people, those who are spiritually mature perspective they have, they say, oh, Krishna was having 16,000 girlfriends. We can also have one girlfriend. What is wrong in that? They want to justify their sinful activities and all kinds of nonsensical activities. Like recently, it was 2 days back, it was Shivratri, right? So unfortunately, the reality is in our country that people on the day of Shivratri, they go and take some kind of intoxication, what they call bhang or something like that. And it has become a tradition now. And on Shivratri means they have to take some intoxicants. Say, oh, we are all Baba ka Bhakt. Lord Shiva's devotees, and he is like that, Avdhut. He eats all kinds of intoxicants. So as being the devotee of Lord Shiva, we also does that. But to refute this kind of bogus arguments, we should tell those people that yes, Lord Shiva ate some kind of things. We need to understand first why he's taking all those intoxicants, number one. And before that, he has taken the whole ocean of poison. So you should also try a little bit, 1 cup of poison. And once you hold it into your neck and become Nilkant, after that you do whatever you want to do. In the same case, Krishna has so many, he married to so many girls and all that. And ask them that, okay, go and lift the Govardhan Hill first, and then we'll arrange so many girls for you to get married. Right? So this kind of bogus understanding, it comes from the people, those who are very, very spiritually immature. They never read the scriptures. So this is the safeguard that we understand based on these 4 different criteria that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually Krishna himself. And just to give you some reference, there are multiple references. Like I can quote 50 references. I have the document with me, but I'm not going all 50. The class will get over in 50 only. Just quoting this 1 or 2 that all of us we can relate. The famous scriptures. One is Srimad Bhagavatam, which talks about the incarnation, the descent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Famous verse, it appears in the 11th canto. Krishna Varnam Tusa Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yaggai Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. So it explains that Krishna Varnam Tusa Krishna. So the Krishna, but he will descend, but not in Krishna Varnam. Krishna Varnam means that blackish blue boy. Krishna is like that. But the same Krishna will come a Krishna Varna. Means just opposite to Krishna's color. So Krishna is black, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is golden, not even white. We don't say that he's fair complexion. Just for our understanding, we say that he is fair complexion, but his color complexion is golden. And that is why one of the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Gora means like white complexion, which is like a molten gold, very shiny, very bright complexion, Gauranga. So that is how it is. And he will come and Sango Pangastru Parshadam. He'll come with Parshad, with his associates, not alone. So that is why we chant this Panchatattva mantra. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasadi. So these are the associates, they're the Parshad. And we'll talk about them also. And when he'll come, what he will do, what will be his activities? So it says, Yaggai Sankirtana Prayer. He will inaugurate one Yagya. He will do one Yagya. What is that? Sankirtan Yagya. He'll inaugurate this Sankirtan movement. And then Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. Those who are Sumedasa, Medha means intelligent. Su is like a prefix. So one who is very, very intelligent in this modern age, they will worship this form of the Lord. Because he is giving us something which is very, very profound process to get connect to the Supreme Lord and ultimately achieve the desired result, which is developing love for God That is Sankirtan, chanting the holy name of the Lord. So that process is meant only for Sumedasa. So this is also another reason why not many people knows this. Those who are really Sumedasa, very, very intelligent and blessed spiritually, they only know all that. So it's a secret. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, and then there is another reference, which is from the Vishnu Shastranam. It is mentioned about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because many of the people they are familiar with Vishnu Shastranam. So you can read this. Suvarna Varna Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi. So Chandanangadi. So his one is Suvarna Varna Hemango. It's a golden complexion, and like appearance is of that of like molten gold. So that is the description given even in the Vishnu Shastranam. So it's not like that we are some bunch of people, Hare Krishna people, we believe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as some supreme Lord, but nobody knows, nobody talks, nobody taught us, but we are talking based on the scriptures. So we are applying this criteria of safeguard, scriptures, authorities, attributes, and then extraordinary activities that we'll see. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did some activities which is very, very extraordinary. Okay, so this is some references from the scriptures. I'll not go much into detail of this because it will take a long time, but it's a very, very golden opportunity. And if you see, it has been explained in the scriptures that this current time that we are living in, this is called the Kali Yuga. But in this Kali Yuga, this is called the golden period. Now you might wonder, like, this golden period itself is so horrible. So many things are happening. What is that not golden period looks like? So this is a very, very auspicious time of Kali Yuga that we are all living in, because of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is there. And how it is rare? It is rare that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears once in a Brahma's day. And what you are seeing this diagram here, this explains Brahma's life and Brahma's day. But in short, Brahma's one day is equal to 4.32 billion years. That is Brahma's one day. And Brahma's one life, our life is 311 trillion years. So that is the calculation. Somebody wonder like what numbers you're talking. So we can explain that number based on the scriptures. Maybe in some other time we'll talk about that. So that is how it is rare to have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna comes once in a Brahma days. And when Krishna comes in Dwapar Yuga, the following Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. So we all know that Krishna appeared 5,000 years back, which was the Dwapar Yuga. And when Krishna binded all his pastimes, and he goes back to Vaikuntha, to Goloka Vrindavan, and that is when the Kali Yuga begins. So in that Kali Yuga, already 4,500 years passed by, and then 500 years back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Same Krishna. So that is the description given. Now question is, why does he come? Why does he come in this particular Channa avatar, hidden incarnation? This is something very interesting to take note of. So we know that Krishna came 5,000 years back. He performed various pastimes, spoke Bhagavad Gita through the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, established the Dharma Sanstapna Arthaya, established the principles of religion, goes back, enjoyed his pastime with his devotees and all of that, goes back. So a description comes when Krishna goes back and he start to ponder upon, start to think that I went there, I performed my pastimes, and I enjoyed my pastime with all my devotees, established the Dharma. But one thing got missed. And what is that one thing? So then Krishna was thinking, and we'll see that here. What is that one thing? So that is why now we are getting into all this discussion. It is all deeper. It's post-graduate study. So what Krishna is thinking? So I explained that Chaitanya Charitamrita is the mind of Krishna. So we'll see that what is going on in Krishna's mind. So basically why he descends here has been explained. There are two different reasons. So one category is external reasons and one is internal reasons. Let us see that what is the external reason. So reason is call of Advaita Acharya. I'll explain that. And then second one is to spread the holy name. And third one is to distribute devotional service. Remember. Okay, and I'm requesting everyone to remember all these details. At the end of the sessions, we'll be conducting a small quiz for all of you. This is a quick memory check for everyone. So If you want, you can just take the notes or whatever way works. But it will be interesting to recall all these details. So external reasons, call of Advaita Acharya spread the holy name to distribute devotional service. Go next. So when Krishna goes back and he was thinking like this, so this verse is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Adi Lila, third chapter, fourth verse, which says, Anarpit charim chirat karunya tirna kalau. I'll explain a little bit. So it says, Krishna is thinking anarpit, which is something, arpit means to offer something, right? We say offering the flowers, फूल अर्पित कर दीजिए. Anarpit, something which has never been offered. Charim chirat, chirkal means like for a long time, never in the history, for a long time, something which has not been offered. Anarpit charim chirat, karanyavatirna kalau. But this Lord now, avatirna means avtaran. He descends here out of his causeless mercy, karunya. He's becoming too compassionate now, thinking that something which has not been offered for a very, very long time in the history, out of compassion, he comes. And then what he does? Samarpayitum. And he comes and samarpit, he offers. What he offers? Unnat ujjwala rasam. Rasa is like the mallows of exchange of the Lord with the devotees, right? But in that also there are different mallows. That has been explained, the Shandaras, Dasharas, Sakyaras, Vasaleras, and the Madhuriras. So what Krishna has come here to offer Unnat Ujjwala Ras. Unnat Ujjwal means the topmost, the highest rasa, not ordinary one, highest rasa, which is that loving relationship with the Lord. So he's thinking that I went there, I did all the pastime, but I forgot to offer that love of God. I should have given that love. What we are lacking in this world is love for God. And that is what is the root cause of all our suffering. And we are trying to fill that gap in so many different ways. But now scriptures explain. So the Krishna was thinking that I had to go now again. Hari Purada Sundar Duti Kadamba Sandipitaha. So now the same Supreme Lord Hari, he comes, but now he comes in a different Duti. Duti means the effulgence. Sundara Duti. Now he comes in a different color complexion. And then he is praying that Sada Hridaya Kandara is Purava Sachinandana. And he is the son of Sachimada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sachimada. So the Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, the author, is praying that Supreme Lord, that form, particular form, which is descending here to offer something which is the highest mellow, Unnat Ujjwala Rasam. So that form should always manifest in my heart. So like that has been explained. So you understand the reason why Lord is coming again? External reason. We'll see even more deeper. If you're thinking this is deep, becoming complex, wait for a while. It is going to be a little more deeper. But I'll try to explain in a more easy way. So you understand that why Lord is coming here is, he's thinking like this. So his mind is explained. Chir kala nahi kari prema bhakti dan, bhakti vina jagatera nahi avasthan. Krishna is thinking, Chir kala nahi kari prema bhakti dan. For a long time, I have not given prema bhakti. Which kind of bhakti? The different kind of bhakti. There is one bhakti wherein you go and ask the Lord, God, please give me this, give me that. So there's no love for God. Like, in some traditions, they go and they ask that, oh God, please give us our daily bread. Right? And Prabhupada explains, when people go to God and ask for daily bread, their love is for the bread, not for the God. Right? So, but here it is Prema Bhakti Dan. So Krishna is thinking that I have not for a long time given this Prem Bhakti Dan, and Bhakti Bina Jagatera Nahi Avasthan, and without which Jagatera Nahi Avasthan. This material world, being in this material world is useless. No matter that what you get, what you acquire here in this world, if you don't get this Prema Bhakti, if you don't develop this love for God, a tinge of love of God, then all our acquisitions, accumulations, possessions, useless. That is what. So he's thinking like this. Go next. And then he says, Yug Dharma Parvartaimu Nam Sankirtan Chari Bhava Bhakti Diya Nachau Bhuvan. So he said, now I'll go, and what I'll do, I'll inaugurate Yug Dharma. Yug Dharma means in different time, different kal, a different kind of dharma has been inaugurated. Krate Adhyayato Vishnum Tretayam Yajado Makai Dwapare Paricharyayam Kalauttad Hari Kirtana. So in the Vishnu Purana it explains what is the Yug Dharma means. In Satyuga, people used to go to the forest and do meditation for many, many years like that. That was the Yug Dharma, meditation. Then Tretayam Yajato Magi, Treta Yuga, when Lord Ramchandra was there. Yug Dharma was offering the fire sacrifices. So we see that how Lord Ramchandra offered, this Ashwamedh Yagya, Rajasuya Yagya, and all of that, which ordinary person cannot even perform that. All right. So, Krataya Dhyayato Vishnu, Tretayam Yajato Magai, Dwapare Paricharyayam. In Dwapar Yuga, what was the process? Yug Dharma was Paricharyayam, means worshipping the form of the Lord with great pomp. A lot of elaborate arrangements are needed to worship the deities. But in Kali Yuga, Kalautad Hari Kirtana. In Kali Yuga, the Yug Dharma is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. That is the Dharma for Kali Yuga. So here, Krishna is thinking Yug Dharma. I'll go now and I'll inaugurate this Yug Dharma for this Kali Yuga. And what is that? Nama Sankirtan. I'll go and inaugurate this Nam Sankirtan. Now, Chari Bhava Bhakti Diya Nachau Bhuvan. By doing this, I'll give the Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, and I'll make the whole world dance. So when people chant, do Kirtan, naturally you feel like dancing. Right. So that is what Chaitanya Krishna thinking to come here. Okay. So these were the external reasons. Also, it has been explained that Adat Acharya's call. So Adat Acharya, he is one of the associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Panchatattva. See, so Advaita Acharya appeared 52 years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. He was much elderly than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Advaita Acharya was going around and he was very, very disappointed to see the degradation in the society, that how people are becoming so sinful. And he was seriously concerned about that. What will happen to the people if they continue to be sinful like this? So then he was thinking to himself to make the situation better, that Lord only can come and do something about it. We can't do anything. So he was thinking and fervently praying to the Lord that Lord, you had to personally come and do something about it. So he was just, when he was meditating like this and reading the scriptures, and then he came across this one particular verse. This is a very, very interesting verse from Gautamiya Tantra. So that verse explains Tulasi Dalamatrena Jalasya Chulukena va Vikrinitena Svatmanam Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavassala. So this particular verse explains that if someone offers Tulsi Dalamatrena, just little one leaf of Tulsi, and Jalasya Chulukenava, Chuluk means just little water. So just little Tulsi and little Ganga Jal, like Shuddha Jal, if offered to the Lord as a loving offering, then in turn, what Lord does? Vikrinetana Swatmanam. Lord will sell himself to you. Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavassala, because that Lord is famous as Bhaktavassal. He loves his devotees and will be sold to his devotee in just, if somebody offers little tulsi in the water. So when he came across this, so immediately he sat on the bank of the Ganges, took Shaligram Jala, started offering tulsi dal and the Ganga Jal. And that is how he was worshipping and praying to the Lord that Lord, you has to come. So we see the call of the Advaita Acharya, and Krishna is already thinking that I have to go there. And also this is the time to inaugurate the Yug Dharma. So these three became the external reasons for Lord to come in this particular form. But now, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami goes further and he explains there's something more than that. Now he's going a little diving deep into Krishna's mind. And he's explaining that there's some internal reason also, that how Krishna is thinking. So look at this internal reasons. So Krishna always wonder. We know that Krishna is like Madan Mohan. Right? Madan Mohan means he enchants everyone. He's very, very attractive. Right? And everybody wants to worship. And when people worship, Krishna feel, pleasure. But one thing Krishna always wonder, the topmost devotee of Krishna is Radharani. Right? And Krishna is wondering that what kind of delight it is to serve me. You do the seva to the Lord, Lord enjoy the seva. But he cannot understand that how much the devotee enjoys by doing the seva. So he always observed that Radharani enjoy more than me. By doing the seva, the devotee is enjoying more than one who is receiving the seva. So Lord, he knows everything, but he was feeling like, I don't know this. That how much pleasure is there in serving me. So delight in the position of Srimati Radharani, that what kind of joy she experiences. And then second one is that understand the sweetness of Krishna's qualities, that how sweet Krishna is. Krishna doesn't know. Everybody knows. The devotees knows. It's like the sugar doesn't know what is the taste of sugar. Everybody knows that sugar is very sweet, except sugar itself. So Krishna says that what is my sweetness, which the Radharani is enjoying always. And she looks to be more blissful than me receiving the seva. So I want to experience that. I want to understand my sweetness. And the third one, experience the happiness of a pure devotee. Right? That same happiness that when the devotee do the seva to the Lord, what kind of happiness they experience. So that is what is his internal consciousness is thinking. So now I have to go there. And that is when he thinks, and this verse explains, it's a beautiful verse which says, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikrati Haladini Shakti Rasmad Ekatmano Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Bhedam Gatautau Chaitanyakhyam Prakadatam Adhunatat Dvayam Chakyam Aptam Radha Bhavadyuti Subalitam Nami Krishna Swarupam. I'll explain this in simple words. So this Radha and Krishna actually, Radharani is, maybe in some other occasion we'll discuss in detail who is Radharani, but here is the clue. Radharani is Haladini Shakti, one of the Shakti of the Lord. Haladini Shakti means pleasure potency of the Lord. So this verse explains Ek Atma now. Radha and Krishna, they are not two different personalities. They are Ek Atma. But then for the sake of performing pastimes, Lila, they become two. So Radha and Krishna, in the Krishna Lila we see, they're actually one, but they became two. But the two again becoming one now. Who is that form? Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually the combined incarnation of Radha and Krishna. And what is this combination? That has been explained. Radha Bhava Dyuti Subalitam. Two important things here to note. Radha Bhav and Radha Dyuti. Radha Bhav means the mood, the emotion of Radharani. So Radharani is the topmost devotee of the Lord. So now Krishna was the God, but now is coming in the mood of Radharani, means the God is coming in the form of a devotee. That is what is the Channa Avatar, the hidden incarnation. That is why he did not manifest and show his godhood in this particular form, because his mood is Radha Bhav and Radha Dyuti. Dyuti means the effulgence, the color complexion. So Krishna is black, Radharani is Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi. She is Gaurangi. What kind of Gaurangi? Kanchan Gaurangi, like a molten gold color complexion. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, but coming in the mood and the effulgence of Radharani. Is that clear? So that is what makes the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then we discussed that Sango Pangastra Parshadam. He comes with his Parshad, with 5 associates. Who are these 5 associates? Basically, there's many more, but primarily the 5 associates. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shakti. So these are the 5. So many of, just to simplify it, we all know the Panchatattva mantra, right? Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So Gaur Bhakta Vrinda are like many more, but 5 are prominent one. So here you see Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam, Krishna himself who comes in the Bhakta Roop, in the form of a devotee. That is original form of a devotee, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Bhakta Swarupa, expansion of a devotee, which is Nityananda Prabhu, which is actually Balramji. And then so Krishna comes, Balramji comes. And then Advaita Acharya, which is Bhakta Avtaram, incarnation of a devotee. Who is this Advaita Acharya? So it has been explained. Advaita Acharya is actually the combination of Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. These are all elaborate descriptions are given. I'm just giving a brief summary here. We cannot really get into those details, right? And then Srivas Thakur, Srivas, Bhakt Akhyam, is a pure devotee. Who is Srivas? Narad Muni. He is one of the pure devotee. And then Gadadhar Pandit is Bhakta Shaktikam, the Shakti of the Lord. That is actually none other than the Radharani, right? Devotional energy. So like that, these all Panchatattva comes. This is what we chant all the time whenever we start chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Okay, yeah. And this is also very, very interesting verse. So just to summarize that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and teach four things only. Details are many, but he teaches these four items. So there's a beautiful verse which appears in Chaitanya Manjusa. Says, Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesh Tanyas Tad Dham Vrindavanam. So it says, like, Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha. Brajesha is, who is Brajesha? Krishna himself. Braja Isha. Ishwar of the Braja. So, like the Krishna is Aradhyo, he is worshipable, Tad Dham Vrindavanam. Similarly, his Vrindavan Dham is also equally worshipable. So it teaches that Vrindavan is also worshipable. And Vrindavan, you see, all the devotees are worshipping, but the topmost worship is Ramya Kachid Upasana Brajbadhu. Brajbadhu means the worship of gopis. That is the topmost. They're in complete love with Krishna. So it's saying that we should go to that level, pure love of God, which is unflinching love, unmotivated, uninterrupted love. That is the highest goal. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to give us that love of God. And then he also says, Srimad Bhagavatam Amal Puranam. So object of love is Sri Krishna, like in the Vrindavan, and the topmost is pure love of God, and the topmost, the example of love is Gopis of Vrindavan. And also, one should read Srimad Bhagavatam, which is explained as Amal Puran. Tell him to distribute later, not now. Distribute later, not now. I'll give you indication. Okay, so these are the four items. Okay, we'll just quickly just go now. So these are just little technical details and some tattva. As I explained, if we don't understand the tattva, then sometimes we just, mistook those personalities as some ordinary and mere mortal of this world. So we need to understand all of those details. So we'll go in this little storyline now. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, it was in year 1486 of our calculation, almost like around some 500 and some years back. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appears, so as a son of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata, the parents of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those who suffered, the pain of dying 8 daughters before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they gave birth, and one after another, they all died. And finally, they gave birth to the son, 9th one, and they named him as Vishwarup. And then after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taken birth. He was born of the son of Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra. Okay. And then when he was appeared, then next, he was named different names. So one of the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gauranga. So we understood because his color complexion was very bright. So the mother started calling him as Gauranga. And then he was given the birth under the tree of neem tree in the villages in those days. It was like that. So also the neighboring ladies start calling him as Nimai. Nimai comes from neem. So he's also known as Nimai. This is also another name. And then later, the father of Sachimata, Nilambar Chakravarti, when he calculated his astronomical chart, he made that. Then he understood that no, this child cannot be ordinary child. He's actually, as per all this understanding, he is the Supreme Lord. He understood. And then he says he will actually nourish the entire world. And his name will be Vishwambar. So that is also another name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now I told you the 3 names. Gauranga, Nimai, Vishwambar. Then why are we calling him Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That will come to later. So initially when he was born, and then he performed some. So now go back to the safe God. So I gave some quotation from the scriptures. Also, the E is extraordinary activities. So though he was in a hidden incarnation, Shan Avatar, and he never showed himself, never posed himself as the Supreme Lord, but there are some occasions and sometimes he performed some extraordinary activities, not like Krishna, who was doing all the time extraordinary, but he also performed some, and then people could see that this child is not ordinary child. So one thing is, as soon as the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, we should not use the word born, but appeared. So It was the Fagun Purnima, which is coming soon on 24th of March. And that day in the evening, it was a solar eclipse. So in the Vedic tradition, after the Chandragrahan or something, Surya Grahan, like that, people has to purify themselves. Like that is why they don't enter into the kitchen, don't cook, don't eat anything. And it is recommended that during those times, one should try to chant more and read and discuss Krishna Katha, no other activities. That is the Vedic tradition. Modern tradition is all messed up. People do all kinds of things. So what happens when it was solar eclipse and then the whole of the country, after the solar eclipse, everybody goes to, like, in those days, they go to the rivers to take bath. And when they go together as congregation, everybody chants the name of the Lord. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, practically whole world was chanting the holy name. So his very appearance itself actually proves or shows that he is here to inaugurate, teach the people, or this process of chanting the holy name, right? And there's something interesting phenomena that ladies in the neighbors, they observed that the child, as a child, when he was crying anytime, they'll try to do so many things, give some toys and do all these things, but he'll not be pacified. But as soon as they start chanting the name of the Lord, immediately he'll be pacified. And as soon as they stop, he'll again start crying. So practically he made someone to be always constantly keep chanting. So he again is proving that he is here for this particular mission. And like that, many pastimes like that. I am just selecting very few in the interest of time. So one time this Brahmana, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still a small boy, within 5 years. And this Brahmana was traveling monk, and he made a stay in the house of Jagannath Mishra overnight. So in those days, all the sannyasis, Brahmana, they'll not eat anything outside. And not even inside the house, like somebody offers. They want to cook themselves, offer to the Lord, and then only they'll eat. So Jagannath Mishra extended his kitchen. Says, okay, Brahmana, he will cook. So he nicely cooked, lot of devotion, and goes in front of his deity. And then he just put the plate, offering, and then close his eyes, ring the bell, chant the mantras, offering the food. And when he opened the eyes, to his surprise, he saw that a small Nimai, baby Nimai, was already eating the food there because he was closed eyes. And he was shocked. He says, you spoiled my whole offering before the Lord eats. You ate already. So he saw a small child crawl, came in, and then eating that. So he was a little disappointed. And then the father, Jagannath Mishra, came and said, sorry, I think, we'll just keep the child inside. Please, do again. So then this Brahman has to go from the scratch, cooking again. And then finally came to the stage of offering, chanting, ringing the bell, chanting mantras. And again, to everybody's surprise, he found the child is again eating the food. So that was repeated 3 times. And it was like he started sometime in the morning and it became already evening, cooking 3 times and offering, and couldn't even eat his food, right? And he was very disappointed that this child is coming every time, spoiling this. And on the third time, he literally started crying that, why these people cannot even keep the child. And when he was crying in the room and nobody was there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually showed him his form of Krishna. That has been recorded. He says, every time you're calling me, chanting the mantra, Krishna, come and eat. When I'm coming and eating, you're crying. What is this? And then he got the special mercy that is revealed his form to this Brahmana. So that was something very extraordinary. So that was between birth to 5, and the next stage is called the Paganda age, which is 5 to 10. So during this time, actually, he was going to school, studying, and then very quickly he just grasped all the Sanskrit grammar, philosophy, logic, and all of those things, to everybody's surprise. So all of those things were happening, and he was very intelligent, very sharp, and all of those things. But anyway, just keeping in the interest of time, I'm just picking few. Go next. Then this is called the Kishor Lila. Kishor means, go to the Kishor Lila, yeah. Age of 11 to 15. Age is still very young. And at this time, what is happening is um, that he was so intelligent and he became so scholarly that he started his own pathshala, his own school, to teach the Sanskrit grammar, Nyaya, and the philosophy and logic and all of that. And he, in no time, he became widely popular as Nimai Pandit. He became Nimai Pandit. So everyone, all the big scholars, so by his intellectual abilities, he proved himself as, a scholastic prodigy. That he is very intelligent. Everybody knows that, oh, this Nimai Pandit is a great scholar. So that was during this Kishor Lila, all that happened, and many more things happens. And then Yavan Lila, which is basically when he was young, 16 to 24. So he started traveling that time. So he was traveling to East Bengal and he met some of the devotees, instructing them and guiding them. One of that person was Tapan Mishra. His name was Tapan Mishra, who was a great scholar in the Vedic studies. But somehow he was confused about the absolute truth. He read the scriptures, but he did not grasp that what is the absolute truth. Right. So the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes and impart a very important lesson, that you are such a scholar, but the process to connect with the God is not scholastic approach. And you read the scriptures, you know this verse, you know that verse, it doesn't help. Process is something else. And then he actually initiated him in chanting the holy name privately. Still, he did not inaugurate the Sankirtan movement because he saw that time is not yet ripe for the Sankirtan movement, but he inaugurated, he initiated this Tapan Mishra, and then that is where a lot of things were happening. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was showing many such pastimes, and then one time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with his some associates, and when he was going, and they were doing the kirtan, it's long hour kirtans, and when he's doing that, and then after the kirtan, they started feeling hungry, all the devotees. So they requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we are feeling hungry, please arrange something. So what he did was, he took one seed of mango seed he took, and then he sowed the seed right there. You can go and see that place still. There are no mango trees now, but at least you can see that place. So he sowed the seed, and immediately there was a tree, and immediately there are fruits, and they're all nice fruits, the mango, and nice ripe mango, sweet mangoes. So that is one of his extraordinary activities. Many such activities performed. And another one is he was delivering all the fallen souls. So this is the time when he inaugurated the Sankirtan movement. So what happened was, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during this time, before this, actually, when he was in the Kishor stage, his brother took sannyas. So mother was very aggrieved, father was very aggrieved. That son left the home and disappeared. Nobody know that where he is. So then he pacified the parents, and don't worry, I am there to take care of you. But unfortunately, soon after that, his father also passed away. So then he took some household responsibilities, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually got married with Lakshmi Devi. That became the wife in a very young age, 16-year-old. Okay. And then, in the pretext of, doing some rituals, he went to Gaya. And then in Gaya, he met his spiritual master, his guru. Now, he is actually Krishna himself. Why does he need guru? But we see that Krishna also has the guru, Sandipni Muni. So the Lord actually wants to establish that everybody needs guru. So there is some famous guru. I don't want to mention the name. His unique identity, he says that this Guruji is so unique that he doesn't have anyone as his guru. He's like self-fulfilled guru. But as per the scriptures, that is the biggest disqualification for someone to become a guru. Guru means you should receive the instruction from the guru, and then you should impart the instruction in the parampara. So he met Ishwar Puri in Gaya, and then, because till this time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually, very scholarly. He was talking about the scriptures, philosophy, and all these big people were coming. All this was going on, and he became very scholar. A lot of scholars are coming actually. But then Ishwar Puri actually, corrected him very gently. Said this is not the approach. Process is chanting the holy name of the Lord. And then he initiated Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So now here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu formally becomes initiated, and Nimai Pandit now becomes Chaitanya Dev. Sri Krishna Chaitanya was his initiated name. So after Diksha, he got this name as Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And that is why we call him as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So from Ishwar Puri. And then he started very extensively, he started chanting the holy name. Now, interesting thing happens. I'll just close soon. I know that people might be becoming too overwhelmed. Okay. So what happened when he started chanting? When he was chanting, so he started behaving very differently, and he was amazed and surprised to see the sudden difference in his behavior. So he immediately goes back to his guru, and he says this. Says, Kiva mantra dila gosai, kiva thara bal. Japite japite mantra karila pagal. So he started acting like a madman. He was in ecstasy, jumping, dancing, saying like earlier he was very grave, talking all philosophy. Suddenly when he started chanting, and that is when he was feeling the ecstasy, he was feeling like jumping, dancing, and all of that. So he goes, what kind of mantra you have given to me? Japite japite mantra karila pagal. I become like a madman, right? He says, Hasaya nachaya mora karaya krandan. Eta shuni guru hasi baliya vachan. Says sometimes I'm laughing, sometimes I'm dancing, sometimes I'm crying. So different kind of the symptoms are appearing. So I don't know what it is going on. Looks like I become mad chanting this, right? And then he explains Krishna Nama Mahamantrera Eita Swabhav Yei Jape Tara Krishna Upajaya Bhav. So what is the Swabhav of Krishna mantra? Says this is the nature of this Krishna mantra. One who chants, then Upajaya Bhav. Then naturally they develop this emotion of love. Now you might be wondering like why we are not. We are chanting every day, at least every Saturday, not every day, some of you. Why we are not jumping, dancing and all that. So then there is an element of quality of chanting. What kind of chanting we are doing? But the chanting has the potency to reawaken your lost, your dormant emotions, which is basically love for God, love for Krishna. Just by chanting, we can develop that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately, actually, he was experiencing that. He goes there. So basically, he's want to, by his personal example, want to show that how powerful this process of chanting is. Right? That was his process, and that is when his whole there's a birth of Sankirtan, because he experienced, and then he started extensively going around and preaching and meeting a lot of people, and wherever he goes, wherever whomever he meet, he just tell them to chant. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made the whole world into chanting and dancing. How he was preaching? Preaching means basically educating. So we also trying to educate the people here. We conduct the session every Saturday. Please come. Conduct the evening calls, 8:30 to 8:45 daily. Please come, join, read books, understand philosophy, ask your questions, chant. We're also doing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not hold any such classes. What he will do is, he'll be going in the street, chanting, dancing like a madman. And anyone who comes on the way, he just go and touch him. Sometimes he'll embrace him, hug him. And that person suddenly also feel the same ecstasy. They'll also immediately, with the immediate effect, they'll also started chanting and dancing. So that is how he's going, touching everyone, and then that person becomes like ecstatic. I'll say, you go in this direction. And that person will be going, chanting, dancing. He'll go and touch someone, and that person will become in ecstasy. So like that, in no time, he inaugurated the Sankirtan movement and the whole world, especially that West Bengal in that area. So this spreaded all around. So that was the beginning of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is all what we discussed today. Very, very briefly. I know it is not the justice to what we are talking. Like in one pastime, we can talk 1 hour, but I just gave you the brief of all that. Now we'll see that here. So it was 16 to 24. So many things were happening. I'll maybe share a few more pastimes. Important incidents happened. But after that, what happened was this: Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt the need to take sannyas. We'll see that why he has to take sannyas. Everything was going well. He was going preaching, and all of those things were going on. And then he decided, now I'll take the renounced order of life. That is where the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a very, very beautiful personality, golden complexion with long hair. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the sannyas and he shaved his head. So you see this picture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is like the shaved head, like a monk. And you see other picture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is like having the long hair. So that is before sannyas. This is after sannyas. So stay tuned to understand that why he took sannyas and then what happened after he took sannyas. So after he took sannyas, for 6 years, he was traveling around, preaching, sharing the wisdom. And those 6 years has been recorded as the Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then we'll see more intense, which is the later 12 years of his sannyas life in Jagannath Puri. That will become the discussion for the Antya Lila, third session. Okay, so I will stop here briefly, though it is not brief, quite elaborate. But yeah. So what we'll do is, what is the essence, one line essence? Somebody can help me that what is the one line essence of what we understand from a whole discussion? Anybody? Those who are online or in person, just think and just one line essence of, if you forget everything, what you should not be forgetting. And
chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yes, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If you forget all the details, all the names, all the years, no problem. But one takeaway is chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is the process that is called the Yug Dharma for this modern age. And by chanting this Mahamantra, we can develop the love for Krishna. And that is what is the ultimate purpose of practicing any kind of spiritual practices. Okay. Anybody's any quick question or any comment? In the meantime, we're distributing the beats here. Anyone in person or online? Maybe just one quick question, one or two. Yeah. No, do all that. He's in the hidden incarnation, Charnavadhar. So he did not prove himself as God purposely. And many times, actually, all these personal associates, they will recognize him. They say, oh, you're the Lord. And he'll close his eyes. We'll see all of that. Yeah. Okay, what happened to Lakshmi Devi, wife of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Very intelligent question. Because he just got married and he immediately took, the sannyas. What happened? So actually, I did not cover that. It was part of my discussion, but yeah, very short time. So what happened when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left home and he was going around and preaching? So the Lakshmi Devi was feeling intense separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the description comes that she was bitten by a snake. But now the Acharya explains what was the snake. So it has been explained that she was bitten by the snake of separation from the Lord. And she actually left the body. In thinking of the Lord, in very intense separation, she left the body. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, father already passed away, brother already left, and then wife, which is like the daughter-in-law for the mother, old mother. She was the Lakshmi Devi was 16-year-old, and then mother was like 70-year-old. And nobody was there to take care, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling. So then mother was aggrieved then to pacify the mother, and on her request, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again married to Vishnu Priya Devi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had two wives. But now, again, question comes in that he married and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. So sannyas, it is not allowed to have any connection with the wife. You just leave home like that. So we'll see those details. But Vishnu Priya Devi, she continued, and she was. It's a very interesting story that every day she will be constantly thinking of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in separation, and then she'll be keep chanting. The whole day she will be keep chanting the names of Krishna, like Hare Krishna mantra. And for every mantra, she will take one grain of rice. And whole day she will chant. At the end of the day, how much ever she chants, that many grains she will cook, offer to the Lord and eat. So that kind of austerity she was observing. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taken sannyas. She was also in very intense austerity, constantly chanting the holy name. Yeah, these are the description found in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so please every day chant. All of us, we should chant. This is the Yug Dharma. Those who don't know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealing to us, and we should take it seriously.